how's it going, everybody? So I'm back on the review. I know it's been a while. I mean, Robin Hood kind of crushed my soul, so I haven't really done a review since then, but I'm really excited to talk about this film, and that is the new Spider-Man animated film, Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. I've really been looking forward to Into the Spiderverse, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of Sony's direction they're doing with the Spider-Man films, where they're doing Venom and his own universe with different Spider-Man characters, but not having Spider-Man in it. Now they're doing the animated films, but I think they knocked it out of the park with this film. I was really impressed because I wasn't expecting that. Even though it got some great buzz, I was thinking I'm going to go into this and it's going to like disappoint me. Like, it's been overhyped to this point. And no, it actually lived up to the hype. I thought it was a phenomenal film. And although Peter Parker is in this film, he's not the center focus of the film. It's actually Miles Morales doing his first outing. And I was really impressed because I really like Miles Morales as a character in the comics. And it was nice to see him actually get his time to shine in this, because it's, you know, of course it's the typical origin story and all that, but the story is really compelling. I actually ended up caring about Miles and these characters as the story went on, because it's not like the typical origin story. He actually has to grow into his powers over the course of the film. Like, he doesn't just get them and automatically starts fighting people. Like, he actually learns some lessons along the way, and he kind of has some issues trying to figure out how his powers work, which goes on for the majority of the film, which is surprising because you think, oh, he's gonna, you know, and all these Spider-Men are going around saving the day, and he's kind of just in the background, still can't really figure out all of his powers. Other than the very compelling origin story, it's also just great to look at visually. The animation in this is really impressive. It really feels like a comic book come to life. I think this is the most comic book accurate Spider-Man we've seen on the screen, just because of the way that you can do stuff with animation that you can't do in a live action setting, you know, with thought bubbles and different other art techniques to make it look like the comic books come to life. And I think that's really cool that you can do that with animation, and I think this might be my favorite animated film of the year, just over The Incredibles, Wreck-It Ralph 2, and so many others. It just stood out to me. And maybe I'm biased because I am a big Spider-Man fan, but it was really cool seeing all these characters come to life. And not just Miles Morales and Peter Parker and all the villains as well, because you got all the different Spider-Men and women from the different Spider-Verses, which are very awesome, by the way. Spider-Gwen was awesome. Haley Steinfeld really knocked out of the park there. It was really cool seeing Nicolas Cage do the voice for Spider-Man Noir, and John Mulaney as Spider-Ham was hilarious. I wish that he gets like his own spin-off. I know Sony loves prematurely doing spin-offs and sequels to things, but if you're going to give one of these characters a spin-off, I would like to have one with Spider-Ham, just because I think it'd be really hilarious. But I mean, there's so many other, like Jake Johnson's Peter Parker, and he does a great job too being Peter Parker in this. Like, there's no dull performance, there's no bad performances in this. Everybody does a great job. It's really just a great all-around film. If there's one thing I could consider a negative in this, I really feel like they could have developed the villains a lot more, because they definitely feel mostly like background characters. They don't really get any type of personality or development at all. I mean, there are a few of them, so I could see why they didn't want to give too much of the time to them and give most of the time to Miles and developing him and his family and the different Spider-Men and women and from the different universes. But I mean, your main antagonist's goals and his supervillain plot they don't really get fleshed out too much, and I wish they had spent more time doing that. I mean, the movie's almost 2 hours long, so I can see why they didn't want to like bore people to death and make it longer. But I think that the villains definitely could have used a step up and make them even more interesting villains. Overall, though, I definitely recommend this film to pretty much any comic book fan. You're going to love this, especially just because of all the little comic book Easter eggs, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan, because there's so many Easter eggs throughout this film that you're going to love. And it just seamlessly, perfectly blends together all this stuff that you wouldn't expect, like this crazy comic book style animation, and it perfectly blends together that with the compelling story where you actually start to care about Miles and all these different universe Spider-Men and women. It's really surprising to me how well this film's probably going to do, just because I didn't expect it, because it's Sony, and Sony Animation's not known sometimes for making the best decisions. I mean, they did do the Emoji Movie, but they're reversing trajectory, and now they're doing pretty much the best animated film of the year. But I'm really impressed. I'm definitely going to watch this movie probably 100 more times. I don't think it's better than Spider-Man 2, though. Like, if I had to rank the Spider-Man films, I would probably put this second right now, but Spider-Man 2 still holds a place in my heart, and I think that's the best one, but this one's definitely at least top 3. But those are just my thoughts on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the film when you check it out, or if you plan on checking it out. Also, let me know what your favorite Spider-Man film is, if it was this one, or if it was one of the many other films we've gotten so far. There's very many to choose from. But thank you so much for checking out my little review for the film. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give it a like. Also, hit that subscribe button to keep updated with all my movie reviews, trailer reactions, unboxings, and more. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.